You're listening to the Launchcast, your favorite podcast on the planet, brought to you by Launchpad 516 Studios with me, your host, George Andriopoulos. We're talking leadership, business, life, and growth right now as the countdown starts.
It's like food for your ears.
At this time, I'm going to ask that you fasten your seatbelts.
Launch sequence.
Launch sequence activated.
Launch sequence activated.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo! Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Launchcast. Episode 406. It's 2023. The new year is here. I am so excited. I got the goosebumps under here, as always. I got a soapbox show for you today. A tidy soapbox show, but we got to get the usual stuff out of the way first. It's the LaunchDad himself, George Andriopoulos, bringing you your favorite podcast on the planet. Leadership, business, life, and growth, right here as the beat drops.
Into the black hole. Sing for my soul.
Woo! Feeling that vibe today. What is happening, my friends? It's George Andriopoulos back for another episode. I missed you. We took a little brief hiatus in season 4 for quite a few reasons. I had a lot of stuff going on, so we'll talk about it. And that's kind of, I guess, what we're talking about today. Today's episode is called An Idiot's Guide to the Comeback. It's a tiny soapbox show, so it's just me and you. We are chatting today. I often get busy and have a lot of stuff going on, whether it's work or personal, professional, whatever it is. And some of my little, side hustles like the podcast and stuff like this, I have to sort of put to the side for a couple of weeks until everything sort of settles down. And I'm noticing that when I do this, it's always like this big, oh, I'm back. And you start to lose faith in yourself that you're kind of becoming a bullshitter, when you're saying like, oh, I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, look, things happen and you go somewhere. So what's been going on here? I don't want to bore you. It's been crazy, man. We launched Speak at the end of 2022, the new organization, social enterprise that provides a public speaking platform for people with ideas and stories. And that was... man, it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun and so fulfilling to do something like this. Wrap up with my stuff with Ted. Actually, our talks finally got published from our 2022 event, so we are sort of officially done with our commitments to the TED platform as we move on, which is good because we want to keep this separate. We don't want any tie-ins to TED with what we do at Speak. So that has been busy. Holidays, right? Excuse me. Holidays, you got to commit time at home and be with the family. The real reason that I was not around for this was because from the day that Speak Beginnings happened, which was November 17th, through basically the new year, I came in for a meeting on like the 29th of December, but for that 6-week period, I was not in the office. Either myself or every family member in my house was sick during that time. I was sick 3 separate times in that 6-week period, starting with a regular cold, moving on to something heavier. I don't know if it was RSV or some type of virus, and then getting it again right after Christmas, getting something. My son had COVID. My 3 kids were sick. My wife was sick. It's been a disaster. We did get through the holidays, and we were able to sort of enjoy our Christmas and New Year's and everything, and I hope you all did too. But man, it was exhausting. On top of everything else, I'm working from home while I'm trying to do all of the stuff that I do and run my companies, and it's it's life, right? It's life. And so as long as we commit in life to coming back, I think that's kind of all that matters. Don't let a stumble, don't let a roadblock kind of getting your way of fulfilling your promises to yourself, your goals. Be accountable to yourself, but allow yourself that space to say, hey, this was a crazy week, so I'm okay with having had a misstep, and I'm giving myself some space here to forgive myself and reset tomorrow. So, so that's kind of what we're talking about here. Coming back from those missteps, just come back. Don't. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you have a preconceived notion of what other people are going to think about, you making another comeback and what caused you to fall in the first place and things like that. And for me here, we're just talking about, like, I was just sick and out of it for weeks and had to put stuff to the side. So it's not a big deal for me to say, hey, we're back in 2023. But I've been there where you kind of go into hiding sometimes because something major happens, and then you reemerge and you go, oh, is this okay? What are other people going to think? You got to move past that. You got to move past that stuff. You got to just do what you do it with love, do it with thoughtfulness, get out there, get back on the horse, get back on the saddle. What other kind of idioms can I give you here? If at once you don't succeed, try again, right? If at first you don't succeed, try again. Whatever it is you got to tell yourself, but get back on that horse, do the thing, and just commit and follow through. That's the business owner in me. That's the dad in me. That's the coach in me, both the leadership coach and the sports coach. Because if we don't just keep trying, what's the point of it all? Right? What are we going to get sedentary and just not do anything anymore? Just because we fell, we stumbled, we failed, we had a roadblock. That's not what life is about. That's definitely not what life is about. So, I heard this great quote once, and it comes from a person that's filled with quotes. I saw this on Twitter one day. It's from Mike the Situation, from Mike Sorrentino from Jersey Shore, right? And Mike has had not that people from Jersey Shore should be a big example to us, but Mike has had his stumbles in life, substance abuse stuff, all kinds of stuff that he went through. And I think in particular to his recovery from substance abuse and everything he went through, he uses this quote that is, the comeback is always greater than the setback. And that always stood out to me. I love that quote. The comeback is always greater than the setback. So, do your thing, man. Get out there. Be you. Who cares what other people think, right? Because you're never going to accomplish something unless you ruffle some feathers, unless you get out there and shake shit up. You disrupt. So don't care what other people think. If you're committed to something, just go out there and do it. And in terms of leadership, right, what does that mean? You've been leading people, or people follow you, people look up to you, you mentor people, whatever it is. And how do you use a stumble or a setback on your platform when you're supposed to be this person that's got it all together? Well, nobody has it all together. Nobody has it all together. And if we just are transparent about that, we commit to honesty and say, hey, whoever's watching out there, I fucked up. I fell. I tripped up, they'll respect you more, because you're being honest. Portraying a perfect little life and perfect professional career and everything I do is perfect and I never missed up. That's not real. Who's going to buy that shit? And if you are buying that stuff, stop sniffing the glue. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm full of idioms today. Stop, just realize that that's not real life, and understand that what you're going through is real life, right? if you're going to be mentored by somebody, if you're going to follow somebody that's real, follow somebody that has setbacks just like you do, but that you can learn from in terms of how to grow from those setbacks. That's the important thing here. That's what we really want to do. We want to learn to grow from those setbacks to know that people who are successful out there, they have those setbacks too. And they come back from them, and they come back better and stronger. And now a word from our sponsors. Well, that's a nice song. Hey, everybody. It's me, the LaunchDad himself, George Andriopoulos, the host of the Launchcast, the co-host of Over My Dad podcast. But more importantly, I'm here today on behalf of Launchpad 516 Studios, the podcast production company that makes those two shows, the one you're listening to now, and so many others possible. Now, what is Launchpad 516 Studios? Well, it's the brainchild of Launchpad 516. It's a podcast production company, and we help you from conceptualization to production, to recording, to post-production, to monetization. The key word here, let's turn that hobby, that idea into a revenue stream. But more importantly, let's get that important idea out there and get your voice heard, because that's what matters right now. Hit us up, launchpad516studios.com to find out more information, or send us an email, podcast@lp516.com. DM me at Launchpad CEO on all the platforms. Let's chat. Let's get your voice heard. We're pretty good at this, guys. Don't let this offer slip by you. Later, guys.
This is John
and Mark Cronin from
John's Crazy Socks.
And we're interrupting to say we hope you're enjoying this episode, but please make sure to check out our show, the Spreading Happiness Podcast, another great show produced by Launchpad 516 Studios. New episodes are available every week on all your favorite podcast platforms. Join us on our new podcast as we continue our mission, spreading happiness.
Thank you, folks.
You're listening to the Launchcast, produced by Launchpad 516 Studios, with me, your host, the LaunchDad himself, George Andriopoulos. I'll give you an example as we wind this down, because I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to be coming out with a couple of episodes in the next few weeks to sort of make up for our time off. But one of my biggest setbacks in recent years has been just my weight, my health, my body. Like, I've always had issues with that kind of stuff. You know, I'm 6'1", currently about 235. Most guys in my family are like just about 6 foot, 200 pound builds. Everybody, 6 foot, 6'1", 5'11", whatever. So we all have these similar builds, but we also all have that proclivity to put on a couple of pounds, and we're not typically super heavy people. It's always just that, hey, I'm out of shape and I don't know how to come back from it type of thing. So I would say in my early 20s is when I suffered my first sort of real setback with my weight. I got very comfortable in a relationship, and it was my first marriage. As soon as I got engaged, I started gaining weight. By the time the wedding came around, I was like 20 pounds overweight. And, within another year and a half, I was about 85 pounds over my normal weight. And that was the heaviest I've ever been in my life. It was bad. And I lost it all within 3 months, and it was super unhealthy. I just basically stopped eating for a couple of weeks and lost it, and then started working out and trimmed up, toned up, and I was super happy with myself then, and kept it up for a little while, and boom, life happens, right? And stress and work and lots of work, and okay, you lose time for it. Luckily, I've never gotten to that point again to get to 285, but when I'm working out, if I'm working out, doing like weight training, working out, 215, 220, that's my sweet spot. I love the way I look at that point. I'm not the thinnest guy out there, but that's really not my build. Maybe I'm taking a shortcut by saying that. I'm sure everybody could have that type of build. I don't have the commitment in terms of my working out to have that type of build. I was always the type that I like having a muscular build, right? That's always my goal. Not like the shredded up, person with the six pack and stuff like that. So I've gotten to that a couple of times, and then life happens, stresses happen, whatever. And, you lose time, you stop working out. And I'm the type, what really pisses me off about it is I'm the type where when I get into that kind of shape, all I have to do is work out a couple of times a week to maintain it. 2-3 times a week, decent workout, I'll maintain it. And I could sort of still eat whatever I want, even at that point. I got to be a little more careful when I'm not working out as much, but 2-3 times a week workout, I'm good to go when I'm maintaining it. So that's what kills me, when you stop doing it and you lose all of that momentum. You get back to that place. So it's always been up and down for me. I'm in a down spot now with it. I have been for the past year. I haven't been happy with the way I look. And I'm 43 now. I just hit 43 last month. So I'm really feeling it now. You get sick more often. I just don't feel good. I look at my complexion and it just doesn't look right. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys can relate out there. You look at your complexion, it just doesn't look right. You just feel unhealthy, So I tried to recommit again. This has been a big setback for me, and I'm trying to make the comeback now. This isn't a New Year's resolution. You guys that know me out there know I'm not a resolution kind of guy. I think you should kind of always focus on your goals and not just, once a year. It just happened to be where the timing was right. And I'm working with a personal trainer now who we started last night. He kicked my ass last night. Shout out Joe Ocasio, a prior guest on the Launchcast, pro wrestler Joe Ocasio, who is a published speaker with Speak. From our first event, I just actually hooked him up with a speaking gig at a local elementary school here, and he kicked ass there. So Joe came over to my home gym last night. He kicked my ass. I almost had a heart attack about 14 times, and once I got over hating him this morning, I started feeling pretty good, even though I'm sore and I'm hurting a lot. So, but that's that good pain, right? That's that pain that you want. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm committing again. I'm not making myself any promises, but, in my own head, I'm kind of excited to get back to a point where I could wear any t-shirt in my armoire and feel comfortable with it, as opposed to right now, there's about like 20% of my t-shirts are the ones that fit me. So we'll see how it goes. But as the great, like I said before, the great situation said, the comeback is always better than the setback. The comeback is always greater than the setback. Sorry about that. I have mush mouth. I'm out of practice here. So forgive yourselves. Give yourselves that space to grow and, fall and come back. As many times as it takes for you to achieve that greatness, keep coming back. That's the secret to this whole thing. That's the idiot's guide to a comeback, is don't be afraid of the comeback. Don't be afraid of what they'll say. Don't be afraid of what you look like. Just always come back. All right, guys, we got new episodes coming every week. I'm sorry about the hiatus, but I'll do better. It's another setback, but this is what we do. This is real life right here, and this is leadership at its finest, because I'm being transparent and honest and authentic, and I want you to do the same. All right, guys. See you next week. Later.
Launch sequence terminated.
Into the black hole. Into the black hole.
The Launchcast is brought to you by Launchpad 516 Studios, produced by Fabrizio Fugazi and executive produced by George Andriopoulos. Marketing and PR by Media Convergence. Theme song by Tommy Lungberg. Music and sound effects are licensed through Epidemic Sound. The Launchcast is hosted with Podbean. Make sure to subscribe to this feed wherever podcasts are available and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts while you're at it, guys. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Podbean, and everywhere else that podcasts are available. Follow me, George Andriopoulos, the host, at Launchpad CEO on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or follow the show at The Launchcast Show on Facebook and Instagram, or at Launchcast Show on Twitter. Visit our website, thelaunchcast.com, and make sure to follow all the great podcasts produced by Launchpad 516 Studios. We'll see you next time, guys.